There's a reason the Epstein scandal refuses to fade from public view. Every time Congress forces a new release of information, every time investigators pull a new thread, the network surrounding Jeffrey Epstein gets wider, more politically explosive, and more revealing about who held power and who protected it. And now the House Oversight Committee is pushing that investigation even further, expanding its reach into Epstein's finances, his relationships, and the institutions that quietly enabled him for decades. Let's start with the concrete actions taken this week. Under the direction of Republican Rep. James Comer, the committee issued new subpoenas to two banks, demanded extensive documentation from the U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General, and sought input from Epstein survivors about where the investigation should go next. Tens of thousands of documents from the Epstein estate are already in Congress's hands, and those materials continue to expose new lines of inquiry. The escalation is striking. On Friday, the committee even threatened Bill and Hillary Clinton with contempt of Congress unless they comply with subpoenas and schedule their depositions quickly. At the same time, investigators still aim to question Ghislaine Maxwell, though her attorneys say she will assert her Fifth Amendment rights and refuse to answer questions. That's only the beginning. The committee is pursuing its own subpoena to the Department of Justice for all 300 gigabytes of Epstein files, and unlike the new law signed by President Donald Trump, this subpoena contains no exceptions for ongoing investigations. According to sources familiar with the probe, subpoenas to banks may grow to more than a dozen, and the witness list is expanding to include survivors, individuals involved in Epstein's 2008 sweetheart deal, and former Palm Beach officials. Behind closed doors this week, staff members asked survivors where the committee should look next. One person said, "Start with Harvard." The suggestion landed immediately. Staffers responded that they were willing to investigate the university, and the timing couldn't be more relevant. That's because Harvard is facing yet another Epstein scandal after last week's document release revealed an extensive years-long correspondence between Epstein and Larry Summers, the former Harvard president. Between 2013 and 2019, the two exchanged emails discussing current events, elite circles, and, at times, Summers' romantic life, with Epstein offering advice. The fallout was swift. Summers resigned from roles at OpenAI, Santander, and the Center for American Progress, and Harvard later announced he would not finish the semester. Now the university is launching an investigation into Summers' ties to Epstein and into any other affiliates implicated in the newly released documents. And there's more coming. The Justice Department has 30 days to comply with the release law Trump signed Wednesday, though how the documents will be disclosed remains unclear. Trump has also instructed the DOJ to investigate Epstein's relationship with several high-profile individuals, including Summers. On the same day the House voted to release the files, the oversight panel subpoenaed JPMorgan Chase and Deutsche Bank to examine Epstein's financial records. Republicans on the committee argue that Epstein's finances contain another layer of revelations. Rep. Tim Burchett said the committee has just scratched the surface. One area of focus is JPMorgan's internal investigation from 2019, known as Project Jeep, which retroactively flagged 4,700 Epstein transactions as suspicious. Epstein held accounts at JPMorgan for roughly 2 decades, ending in 2013, before banking with Deutsche Bank through late 2018. At the same time, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden released a report claiming newly unsealed court records show that JPMorgan underreported Epstein's suspicious transactions for nearly 2 decades. JPMorgan's Patricia Wexler responded that the bank filed SARs as early as 2002, and that once the federal government publicly released sex trafficking details in 2019, the bank provided a wide range of Epstein's past transactions to law enforcement. The Oversight Committee is also pressing the U.S. Virgin Islands for documents related to Epstein's activities on his private islands, including allegations that he used business and political connections to secure lucrative tax breaks and pay off local authorities. Given Epstein's communication with USVI Governor Kenneth E. Mapp and his text messages during a 2019 congressional hearing with Stacey Plaskett, investigators argue there is deep interconnectedness between Epstein and the territory's power structure. What all of this shows is simple. Every time investigators pull back one layer, more institutions, more officials, and more elite figures become part of the picture. The political stakes are enormous, and the pressure to finally expose the full truth is growing louder. If you want ongoing coverage that cuts through the noise and tracks the facts as they unfold, make sure to follow the channel, activate the notification bell, and leave a comment on where you think this investigation should go next.